Hi everybody, welcome back. Chris Casello here. The next batch of lessons on the series begins, and this series of lessons is going to be about double stops, parallel runs, and harmony. And the way I'd like to teach it is so you can do it yourself and not just show you a bunch of licks. So if I might suggest that you go back and review the caged chords, because we're going to start with those. First of all, before we get into the cage, whatever song we're going to do, you have to know the chord changes to the song. It's really important when you're playing two lines at the same time. So before you even attempt it, we're going to do like what I was playing before. I was playing a 3-chord song in G. It was probably like Amazing Grace or something. And we're going to make sure we can play, make sure we can recognize the voicings and the different inversions of the 3 chords we're going to play, which is going to be G, C, and D. So we remember the cage chords, we got all these different shapes. But what I said before, it's really important to know where the root, third, and fifth, where they're located in each one of these chords. So if we're looking at this G form, we actually have 3 places where we can start playing a scale from. G. Well, we can start a scale from any note, but in this case we're starting from the root. So we have a G on top there. Now if we played it here, our G is here. Our G is here. If we played it here, our G is here. But you should also know where the third is, because that's what we're going to be focusing on. Parallel runs, majors and minor thirds. Now, once you've established what chord you're going to play against, you need to find out where the major scale or the series of whole steps and half steps. If you check the lesson notes at chriscasello.com, you'll find that the first thing you really need to understand about major scales and trying to sound melodic is the major scale, which is a series of whole steps and half steps. And the way I remember that, the way most people do, it's just a series of steps, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step. And I don't care where you start that, it's always going to be the same. So if you started it here, you've got quite a few flats, but it's still the same series of notes. That's what a key is. A key is wherever you start, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And in Nashville, we have the number system. So we number each one of these degrees of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And never do they play this. They always play this. So if you're in Nashville and somebody says 7, play an F against the G. Don't play this. But today we're gonna try to stick right to the major scale and learn the melodic series and then start trying to apply it to our playing. So one of the first songs that I teach the melodic series of chords to, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, is Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone. Key of C, and the chords work their way right up the scale. I only went to 5, but that's the whole song. We're not going to worry too much about the full chords. All we're going to try to do today are play parallel runs. And the chords we're going to do are G, C, and D. And we've already found that the root note, we know the scale. Now here's what's really easy. The melodic series just works out in a sense that, some chords are minor, some chords are major. There's a dominant and a half diminished. But the intervals are either going to be major or minor if you're only playing 2 notes. So this is a major, and this is a minor. Okay, so you just have to memorize the whole step, half step series, and then memorize this pattern. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor. Groups of 2s. 1 major, 2 minors, 2 majors, 2 minors, and a major. What could be easier than that? The thing I'm keeping an eye on is this string. The thing I'm thinking about is I'm starting from a G. Now, I don't really have to think about too much once I get this started. Now, if I wanted to start it somewhere else in my chord, I could. There's my root. There's my third again. Now, in this case, the root is on the bottom, so the scale is going to be on this. It's going to be on that string, and the harmony note is major, and a minor is smaller. It looks like that. So on this string, it's going to be. Nice, huh? Now, I could start them somewhere else in this chord, but it would have to start here. And there's no root there, right? It's just third and fifth. So really it's starting here. A little out of tune, but it usually starts right here. And that would be the G form, G, root, third. Now, what a useful device this is. Excuse me while I tune up just a hair. And what you do need to know, though, is what chord you're playing against. And the sad part of this situation is, if you don't want to make a mistake, you have to continuously change your scale. So what I tell students to do is to play Brown-Eyed Girl. And the chords to that, of course, are C, or G, C, and D. And there's an E minor in there, which we'll talk to in a minute. But the first lick is, I think it's played here, but the same stuff applies. D form G, there's your root and third. But we're going to do it like this because you hear this stuff more than anything. So here's the first part of it. And the next chord is C. So what I do is I just go right up to C, and I play the same lick in C. And then the next lick is at G. Then it goes to D, and it resolves. Now I could just play it again. But the song goes, why did I hit this? Well, it was the right note for one thing, but I like to know that D is there, and I knew that was the chord in the song. So you really need to keep an eye on the chord. So as simple as that may sound, now you don't always have to change for C, but it's a good idea to get into it because the note that would be in the scale of G would be this. It might be that, but I don't think so. Because against a C, that can be a problem, but you'll find that in country songs, especially the old ones, you don't change the scale. You stay within. But for most stuff, it's a good habit to get into to know what chord you're playing against. So G, C, G. I got that little melody, so can I harmonize that melody? Yeah. And you know, that's pretty much it for the G thing. But if you, I would recommend trying to practice that, you know, in every position. How did I find the C up here? Or so now with just those two things, I can mess around. If some guys are playing the song, oh, I should mention this. If you're playing G, if somebody comes up to you and plays a G, and you go up to the third degree of this scale and went against his G, you will never get in trouble. Because they're the harmony notes of the chord. Now what if they went to A? I'll go to those harmony notes in A. The D. So if somebody's playing those chords, saying Brown-Eyed Girl, I could.